It appears that Sharina Hudson is stricken by poverty and anger because this declared a full-scale war against Wendy Williams. And that's all because of money. However, Sharina cannot demand a single dime from the former TV host. That's why she is spilling her poison about Wendy and trying to prove that the celebrity was planning to bankrupt her ex Kevin Hunter and leave him broke, and her moves were quite low and shameless. Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Celeb Live channel. I keep my eyes on the most scandalous events in show business and always bring you the hottest updates. It seems like Sharina Hudson doesn't like her new status as a homeless beggar. That's why she confronted her main enemy, Wendy Williams, and accused the former TV host of intentionally bankrupting Kevin Hunter. Sharina's theory is that Wendy has been planning this revenge for years and finally achieved her goal. Well, this drama is getting heated, so make sure to stick with me until the end for the hottest updates. It seems that Sharina Hudson finally realized that she and Kevin Hunter lost everything and they're on the edge of poverty. But instead of trying to earn her keep with a decent job, she decided to focus on taking jabs at her enemy and Kevin's ex-wife, Wendy Williams. According to Sharina, Wendy has spent years trying to create a plan of cutting Kevin off and leaving him broke and miserable. Well, fans have been long speculating that Wendy actually pulled out the whole scheme with alimony termination, but it seems like Sharina has some serious proof on her hands. Well, after her separation from Kevin, Wendy never hid her feelings toward this man and his new family. As Wendy herself claimed in one of her after-divorce interviews, "I plotted to divorce Kevin and I sacrificed a lot of myself to come out successful on the other side. And it all worked." While Sharina tries to pin her financial hardships on Wendy, I wonder why she doesn't turn her anger on Kevin, or even herself. Because the way they manage their finances looks irrational. I mean, for years, Kevin and Sharina were living off Wendy while saving nothing for a rainy day. And now that Wendy's charity program is over, Sharina comes up with a story that Wendy was plotting to bankrupt Kevin all along. Well, if Kevin chose to spend his remaining funds on attorneys, I don't understand, how is this Wendy's problem? Sharina probably refers to Wendy's cruel plan to cut Kevin off and stop paying him alimony so he would bankrupt himself by trying to get these payments back. Which is exactly what happened. As you know, as a result of their divorce agreement, Wendy Williams was forced to send her ex-husband alimony checks, and she was doing it until the time her assets were frozen by her bank Wells Fargo. It has been a tough year for the famed talk show host. The Queen of Talk faced financial troubles, dealt with numerous health complications, lost her television show, and has had trouble accessing her own money from Wells Fargo after the financial institution froze her accounts. So, according to Sharina, Wendy herself was behind all this, just for the sake of cutting her ex-husband off. Well, I guess you must be pretty angry with your ex if you do yourself so much harm just to stop paying him money. The Wendy Williams show paid her $10 million annually, or $55,000 per episode. And Sharina claims that Wendy just threw her entire life and career under the bus just to see Kevin getting bankrupt. Well, we all know that Wendy is a smart person who loves scheming, but I doubt that she wanted to damage her health and ruin her career for that. Considering it was actually Kevin's doing that Wendy got fired from the show and stopped receiving any income. If you remember, their alimony agreement included the part that stated that she can no longer pay her husband if she presently has no other television show being aired and paying her any income, let alone an equivalent salary. So, if Sharina is so keen on blaming Wendy, she may start looking for the root of the problem and find the reason why Wendy stopped working. NLU, why? Kevin's infidelity with this very Sharina has aggravated Wendy's alcohol addiction and worsened her health disorders. As a result, the TV host could no longer work, and that's why her time slot was given to another host. Knowing what Wendy has been through, and it was hard to miss because the tabloids broadcast every inch of Wendy's hardships. It was so strange to hear Sharina saying anything against Wendy and even accusing her of intentionally bankrupting her ex-husband. After all, Wendy is a victim in this story, and the nerve of Sharina throwing accusations left and right is simply beyond any shame. Maybe if she wasn't so eager to get her hands on more designer bags or kept her pancake business afloat, she and Kevin wouldn't have to worry about money. But no, once you get on the gravy train, it's hard to stop writing. I bet no one has a drop of sympathy for Sharina. Wendy's fans are ripping her apart on social media for her pathetic statements, one person commented. The audacity of Hudson. If Wendy is doing this purposely, good. This is exactly what they deserve. And another added, Wendy is not responsible for Kevin and Sharina's mismanagement of finances. Well said, in my opinion, because we've all seen how these two were handling money. They lived beyond their means, eating in fancy restaurants, driving expensive cars, shopping at designer boutiques, and vacating like true royals. Plus, Kevin Hunter was always spending money like his bank account was bottomless. He bought diamonds and Chanel bags for his mistress, Sharina, took her to sunny resorts, and even invested in her businesses. Well, I haven't heard that any of Sharina's startup ideas turned out to be successful. But something tells me that apart from not earning anything, She expected Kevin to provide this same level of luxury after Wendy divorced him, but it must have been impossible to do with alimony payments only. So it's probably Sharina's love for luxury and lavish lifestyle that bankrupted Kevin, not Wendy. But we know that for such people as Miss Hudson, there is always someone else to blame. That's why she found everything that Wendy was saying against Kevin after the divorce and wants to prove that the former TV host deliberately made her ex suffer from financial troubles. As a wounded and hurt woman whose husband has been cheating on her for years and made a baby on the side, Wendy was not really nice when she was speaking her truth and describing Kevin's actions. As Wendy confessed, Kevin became an AA, for lack of a better word. Hey, the more successful I got and he got and we believed in each other, the more of a jerk he became. He used his good credit to purchase property that he chose to wine and dine his extramarital affairs. But even with such statements, Wendy is hardly to blame for Kevin's financial woes. The former TV host herself had issues with her funds when the bank froze her assets and appointed a financial guardian for her. Wendy is currently unable to access her finances, but Kevin was pretty sure this was a temporary bump on his road to his ex-wife's millions. But you know, the main difference between this couple of leeches and Wendy? Well, when Wendy realized that she cannot access her millions, she made the only reasonable decision, despite her multiple issues with health. She reached her team and got back to work with enthusiasm, while Sharina was waiting for the alimony to be resumed. It was confirmed that Wendy is working on several projects at the moment, including the long-awaited podcast. Looks like a great example for everyone who is struggling with finances, but not for Kevin and Sharina, who expect to be fed by the generous hand of Wendy for the rest of their lives. I bet it was a nice year of doing nothing for Sharina, where she only threw shade at Wendy and expected Kevin to bring home more cash by winning in court. And since not a single dime was received from Wendy or her financial guardian, Sharina invented a story about how the former TV host literally bankrupted poor Kevin. But I doubt you can bankrupt someone who doesn't have any decent source of income and solely relies on his sickly ex-wife's donations. Plus, it seems strange that Sharina tries to make Wendy a villain in this story, while we all know who was cheating on who in the first place. So maybe it's karma trying to teach Kevin and his mistress a valuable lesson that they cannot understand. Because even if Wendy actually planned to stop sending Kevin alimony checks, she certainly has nothing to do with his reckless squandering habits. And I don't remember Wendy saying that she planned to financially support Kevin and his new family for the rest of her life. She has been funding them for decades. So maybe it's time for this couple of moochers to stop leeching off her and build their own career on TV or elsewhere and spend their own millions. If, of course, they manage to make any. I heard that Kevin and Sharina's businesses are not as thriving as they try to show on Instagram and in their rare interviews. I bet the main reason why Sharina decided to distract herself from flipping pancakes is that Wendy is back to work and plans to launch several new projects this year. The Queen of Talk is moving full speed ahead with planning a life that does not include her estranged husband. So the envy gnaws at Sharina from the inside, because Wendy again is going to have it all: fame, money, the love of the audience, and probably a new person by her side. And Sharina is left with a useless and broke Kevin. That's why she cannot help but throw shade at Wendy without any reason. I doubt anyone is going to believe the sob story of this mistress and homewrecker. Fans are cheering for Wendy, and even though she could actually orchestrate the entire thing, they still adore and respect her. One person wrote, "Wendy had Wells Fargo to freeze all her cash. She's sitting back, cracking their backs while they think she's so unstable, in rehab, and drunk. And the Oscar goes to Wendy." And another added, "Wendy shouldn't work, Al. She should just sit back and relax and watch Kevin and Sharina lose everything. If Kevin is really broke and struggling, time will tell." Well, we all can't wait for karma's final blow, because Kevin and Sharina certainly deserve every ounce of pain and struggle they're dealing with right now, but it seems unlikely that Wendy will abandon working on her new projects. Her desire to come back to spilling tea cannot be taken down by a few pathetic accusations coming out of the mouth of her ex's mistress. And what do you reckon? Does Sharina really have some proof she can use against Wendy, or is this girl just stirring up the mud? Share your thoughts in the comments below. I'm eager to know what you're thinking. And in the meantime, check my other video about Wendy's big comeback. I bet it's going to be a fantastic year for her. Well, that's all for today. Thank you for watching. I promise to be back very soon with a new portion of gossip about your favorite celebrities.